Hello, Parkview friends. It's Mrs. Garcia, and I am here with our next CARES feature text. It's about time. It's been a while, and we are due for a really great book, and you are going to love this one. It is called Listening with My Heart, and it is a story by Gabi Garcia. Yes, I know. She has the same last name as me. I think that is so cool. And it's illustrated by Yin Hu Tan. And it's a story of kindness and self-compassion. Oh, two super important things. And in this story, the main character, her name is Esperanza. You're gonna find some really cool connections to CARES. She has a friend that you are going to find some connections to some people that you probably have met at Parkview. Maybe a friend in your class or a friend in your grade level or someone in our school that she gets to be friends with. But she has to find a really different way to learn to communicate with him. And she thinks that's really important because she wants to be able to become his friend. And also, she also has to figure out a way to be kind to herself, because she makes a mistake and she ends up being really hard on herself. And she does something that I tell my kids at home. It's called stinkin' thinkin', where their brain kind of tells themselves that they're not very good at something and they've ruined something way bigger than it is. Like small problem, but they make it really big and they make themselves feel really bad about it. Well, she thinks she's ruined something and it's a really small deal, and she hasn't ruined it at all. And so she has to learn to be kind to herself and to love herself. So by having self-compassion and having positive self-talk, something we all need to do. We have to care about ourselves just like we care about other people. We have to treat ourselves really well and love ourselves. That is called self-compassion and taking care of ourselves, because we need to treat ourselves the way we also want to be showing compassion to other people too. That is really important. So I know you're going to love this book and you're going to find some good connections to it and think about ways that you treat other people, connections like that, but also how you can take good care of yourself too. I hope you enjoy this book. Listening with My Heart by Gabi Garcia, illustrated by Yin Hu Tan. A story of kindness and self-compassion. Listening with My Heart. Esperanza's tummy fluttered as she practiced her lines on the porch. Today was the class play. Waiting for Mama to walk with her to school, she paced back and forth when she spotted a heart-shaped rock. Esperanza picked it up and showed it to Mama as soon as she stepped outside. "I see you found a little treasure," said Mama. Esperanza rubbed its rough surface and felt a twinkle of joy. "Maybe it's a sign." "For what?" asked Mama. She thought about the class play later that afternoon, wondering what it would finally be like to be in the spotlight. "To put my heart into everything I do," she answered. At that moment, they heard scratching and a soft cry. Esperanza peeked under the stairs and spotted a kitty shaking and shivering. No Mama in sight, she scooped the kitten onto her lap and cuddled her. "She's all alone. I think she's hungry." Esperanza reached for her lunch bag, pinched off a piece of chicken, and offered it to the kitty, who gobbled it up. "Mama, I think the rock is a reminder to spread kindness and love. That's what we do when we listen to our hearts." "I think you're onto something," said Mama.
"Can we keep Cleopatra, please?" asked Esperanza, who had already named the kitty. "Queens are always welcome at our house," said Mama. "If she's still here after school, we'll take her in." At school, Esperanza was more focused on the play than on math or reading. Clutching her script during recess, she noticed Bao sitting alone on the bench. He was new in school this week, and he didn't speak much English. She wondered if he felt lonely or scared. Esperanza found a soccer ball and kicked it over to him. A smile spread across his face. He stood, popped the ball in the air, then bounced it between his knee and his head a few times. "Dude's got moves," thought Esperanza. They spent recess giggling and making up hand signals. Afterwards, Esperanza borrowed Ms. Owen's English-Vietnamese dictionary. She wrote "friend" in Vietnamese, drew a picture of Bo and her, and put it on his desk. Esperanza rubbed the rock in her pocket. Listening with her heart made her feel peaceful inside. Finally, it was time for the performance. It was too late for Bo to be in the play, but he stood at Miss Owen's side as a stagehand. Excitement bubbled as Esperanza waited her cue. Esperanza walked on stage, and as she was about to say her first line, and splattered across the stage. When she got up, she forgot her lines, so Ms. Owen whispered them to her from backstage. Heat rushed through Esperanza's body as all eyes were glued to her. She wished she could disappear. "I ruined the play," thought Esperanza, rushing off stage as soon as she'd finished her part. "I messed up in front of everyone." She tucked herself in behind some props so no one would see her. Esperanza noticed her body shaking and her face still burning. She took a deep breath and dug the rock out of her pocket. It was cracked and lopsided, just how she felt. Esperanza touched her hand to her heart and felt disappointment. Bo found Esperanza a few minutes later and handed her a drawing with the word "friend" written above it. Esperanza nodded. She hadn't been treating herself like a friend. Esperanza realized this wasn't the first time she'd been unkind to herself. At the soccer game last weekend, she'd missed the ball that swooshed by her head, and they lost the game. "Nice work," a player from the other team yelled as the others laughed. Esperanza thought she'd let her team down and was the worst soccer player in the world. Thinking those thoughts had made her feel worse. At the curtain call, Esperanza reminded herself she hadn't ruined the play. She'd had an accident, and accidents happen to everyone. Listening with her heart wasn't just about giving kindness and love to others. It was about giving it to herself too. I can be a friend to myself, thought Esperanza. When Esperanza got home, she focused on her favorite things. She zipped down the hill on her bike and then spent the afternoon painting at the kitchen table. She also got the hug she needed from Mama and some cuddles from Cleopatra. listening with your heart. Some days stink. Not everything will go the way you want. You'll get upset. When this happens, you can pause, take a few deep breaths, and practice listening with your heart. You can name what you're feeling. Whatever you feel is okay. Listen to your body. Notice the sensations you're having, and pay attention to your self-talk. Are your words supportive and understanding, or mean and rude? Are you being a friend to yourself? When we treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we'd give to someone we care for, we are practicing self-compassion. You need to be the friend you need and use kind words for yourself. And then there's some ideas for how we can do that in the back of this book. So it's a pretty special one. Listening with your heart feels good. It connects you to others and reminds you to be a friend to yourself and helps you grow a more peaceful world. Listening with my heart.